What's going on, everybody? It is podcast number 15, and as you can see, the Mac has returned. Billy is back with us again, and we've got Michael behind there sipping on something with his hair looking ridiculous, and
like
old Dave behind the camera like normal. So I'd like to start off asking everybody how their week was, and since you're the guest of honor, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. I've been at work and everything, and just a lot of drama and nonsense at work, not really between people, just a lot of, with the cold weather, we've been having some issues, but other than that, we've been doing good.
Yeah, I would say the cold weather has brought some issues in for you. I think it's brought issues in for everyone.
Yeah,
so yeah. And my house is still freezing right now because the drafty garage door over there.
Garage door, yeah.
Yep, so what about you, Dave? Was business good this week?
Yeah, everything's good. Everything's great. Great week.
That was a plain answer. I need
it's
more.
just generic. I tried to break my stuff.
Yeah, you tried to.
Well, of course, it's life. Life sucks sometimes, but it didn't suck.
Hey, I didn't say go dark, bro.
Yeah.
Easy, easy.
He went straight from generic to dark.
We need a happy medium.
No working for a drink, bro. Come on.
So what about you, Mike? Is anything good happening?
Oh yeah, something real good happened. I'm not gonna talk about it on camera,
Yeah.
but something real good's happened. Yeah.
Mike and MC Hammer are on a parallel collision course right now. So.
But, broke hood rich.
And it's almost tax time too. So.
Ooh.
Yeah, that don't help me none.
Yeah, I did something.
I was just throwing it out there.
Anyways, what do you want to talk about first, Captain David?
We're talking about NFL this weekend. There was a lot of good games.
A lot of good games. There's two games.
Yeah. I mean, last weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there was a lot of good games.
Was there?
Yeah. Some really good football this weekend. I'll start off. What about that Steelers and Jaguars game? It's insane. Ben Roethlisberger threw like 5 touchdowns. Had like 500 passing yards. Had like 5 receivers over 75 yards. And they still lost to the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's what happens when you can't play defense in the playoffs. I mean.
Yeah, that's the other weird part. I don't know how the Jaguars really pulled it off. I mean, Fournette had 190 yards, but other than that,
And he got hurt too.
Score,
he was out for a little bit.
I don't know how the Jaguars put up the numbers they put up. It was amazing.
They had like 1 defensive touchdown, right?
Yeah, I
think somebody housed one.
I know that the defense got them.
Yeah, it was a fumble
like 3 times.
No, there was a fumble recovery. Big Ben fumbled it and they ran it back for a touchdown. So there was at least one defensive touchdown in there. That always helps.
That's a good old point to Le'Veon Bell.
Point? What do you mean?
The guy that recovered the fumble as he was running in, turned around and pointed.
Oh yeah, you got fined for that and everything. Yeah, that was funny. It was worth the money.
Man, what about Blake Bortles, man? He had a whole 200 yards this week, but
I mean, Eli Manning has two Super Bowl rings, so
Yeah.
I guess Blake Bortles could have one too.
But I mean, like I remember we had the draft party. We were watching the NFL draft, and I was like, the Jaguars, they should, get a quarterback with their first pick and just go ahead and forget about Bortles. But Bortles has done a decent job at game managing. When I was looking at like their first downs, they didn't rush at every first down. I mean, he had like 12 passes on their first downs. He converted on 3rd down. He's a guy that can run the ball too.
Yeah.
Which is something you really didn't see a whole lot until like the last few games.
He averages like the same like yards per carry that like Michael Vick did.
Yeah.
If I think that's the correct stats, which is pretty.
Oh, Blake Vick is what they're calling him now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I saw a lot of good football or not, to be honest with you. I mean, that game was just a firefight. You watch some of the other games, and there's receivers dropping easy passes. Like I think the Falcons game comes to mind.
Yeah.
A lot of receivers dropping some easy passes, and then you had the freak play at the end of the Vikings-Saints game. I don't know. I mean, maybe it was. Maybe I'm just not as into it as normal, but it wasn't that exciting for me, really.
No, I thought it was. I'll go into the other game in a minute, but looking to this weekend, the Patriots are favored like 8 points to beat the Jaguars. I think it should be more, but
I don't know, man. Now you got Brady.
Yeah.
You got Brady with a hurt hand. They said he had to get stitches in his thumb.
that's not going to stop him. I mean, but Roethlisberger threw 500
Ugg is going to make a
yards and stopped
special.
him, yeah.
Ugg's going to make a special glove for him. He's going to pop it on. It's just going to be amazing again. I mean, he's old though. Let's not forget that he's old. He's got 5 stitches in his hand. It's going to be cold. It's going to be, top 5 defense. I mean, I think the Jaguars may be number 2. I think the Vikings are number 1 overall.
Still, the Jaguars secondary looked like crap, giving up 500 passing yards to Ben Roethlisberger, and he was throwing to different receivers. He wasn't just throwing to Antonio Brown the whole game.
Well, I mean, what did 2 of their touchdowns come on 4th down conversions though, on kind of freak plays, like where I think it was a linebacker came around the edge and like literally caressed Ben's shoulder and somehow still didn't bring him down, and Ben throws a touchdown pass.
Nothing brings him down though.
I mean, it's just.
No charges.
Yeah, not even the charges.
Speaking of that, did you see the headline that the adult film star that Donald Trump supposedly had relations with?
In bed?
No, not that one. That apparently
magazine. Is that what you're going with?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where she was chasing him around the room, spanking him with force bank.
No, let me finish.
Proceed.
Let me finish. Supposedly, after this occurrence happened, Ben Roethlisberger is the one that walked her back to her hotel room. That was the headline that I wrote.
I did see that, where I guess she slept with him too.
I didn't. Mike, you're jumping to conclusions here. He's being chivalrous. I'm not making any accusations.
So
are you really going to defend this man right now?
Ben Roethlisberger saved a chick from Donald Trump.
Well,
no, because she was.
No, he was getting Donald's sloppy seconds. That's pretty much.
Man, this took a turn real quick. Anyways,
I'm glad to be back.
Things have changed.
You're trying to come on bed, and we're going from Trump's horrible in bed to
the Bash Brothers behind the camera.
him getting spanked.
So, anyways, back to the Patriots. Yeah, I don't know, man. Coming into this week, I was kind of reminded of the Colts back a couple years ago when the Colts came into the AFC Championship in New England, and everybody was kind of touting the Colts. They didn't obviously have as good of a defense, but they had a really good offense, and the Patriots just blew them out. So I was thinking more along the lines of 13 points for the Patriots, but then you have Brady hurting his hand, and I mean 8 sounds good to me now.
Yeah, I think that's something to overhype it. Try to get us excited for the game.
He wore 2 gloves to his press conference.
I don't know. I don't think it's a big deal.
What about the call out from the Jaguars corner on Gronkowski saying he's never been a corner like me and I'm going to cover him?
It's going to be funny when Gronk boxes him out for 2 touchdowns and he's just 6 in the hand.
Like I said, the Jaguars secondary didn't impress me much last week.
Well, it's not so much the secondary that is concerning to me is the fact that they always seem to get pressure on the quarterback with only 4 rushers. And the Patriots' offensive line has been horribly bad for the last couple of years. I don't think they've really tightened up those holes that much. And so I think it's gonna be more along the lines of how much pressure can they get on Brady, especially with him being banged up and everything.
Can we just take a second to realize the fact that Blake Bortles could potentially be playing in a Super Bowl?
Wait, Blake Bortles, Nick Foles, or
Case Keenum.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Case Keenum's in a different category than the other guy. I don't know. Nick Foles is still pretty good.
Foles holds the record for most passing yards in a game.
That's right. I'm not giving Foles his credit.
Foles is talented. I mean, but
yeah.
So really, Blake Bortles is playing a Super Bowl? Is Fournette that damn good?
I mean, he's not playing a Super Bowl yet, Mike.
I said potentially.
Let's back the bus up here.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL needs Brady in the Super Bowl. Take that any way you want to.
I mean, whether you love them or hate them, they really need them to be in there.
What about the NFL script today on their website?
Jaguars and Eagles would be catastrophic. If the Vikings get in, it's a home game for them, so at least that's something to look forward to.
Move over to the Vikings game. You said the other games impressive. That was one of the best NFL games I'd seen in a long time. The ending of it, not like the whole game, but like the last 5 minutes was good.
I was in bed. So I missed it.
Well, I mean, it was great. Like you saw at the end when the Saints defender, he didn't want to get the flag, so he kind of fell down, and he somehow made the catch.
That poor guy is going to be in every meme till.
Which you can't blame him for that, because if they got a flag there, they would have been put in field goal position. I mean, who would have thought he could?
He was going for his leg. He just missed.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he was worried about a flag. I think he was trying to blow him up. I think he hit the hit stick a little too early, and
it looked like me. He thought he was going to get a flag. And
that was the end of it.
Yeah.
What about the defensive end who had a clear shot onto the quarterback, but instead decided to do a spin to try to get around the defender when he just could have kept going straight and at least hit the arm?
don't know. What was the name on the back of the jersey? Fishman? See what I did there?
But the end of it,
Because he used to play football.
Yeah.
the end of the game,
I got you. I got you.
the end of the game was amazing. You know, like whenever the Saints all left the field already and they were lining up to do the extra point, and the whole crowd was doing the skull.
Yeah, Case
and
Keenum was
Case
like
Keenum was
leading
leading it. Yeah, like I mean, that probably turned a lot of people into Vikings fans. A lot of bandwagon fans today. We're gonna see a lot of.
My phone started blowing up, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought the Vikings would handle the second half pretty easily, but I had been watching football for almost 2 days straight, and I live in a house full of women. So if I didn't let them watch TV, I was gonna get killed. So I had to go upstairs, and my phone started blowing up, and I was like, "What happened here?" And I saw that, and all I could think about was Marty breaking his TV. So
I was so excited. I didn't even want the Vikings to win, but just the way it ended, it was awesome.
I was just being an antagonist. I mean, I watched all the football games. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
I haven't enjoyed football this year until the playoffs.
Yeah, the playoffs have been great.
And I really enjoyed cheering against the Steelers. So, like, I started watching the last week of NFL when the Browns played the Steelers, and I was cheering for the Browns. I'm like, what's going on here? But I wanted the Steelers to lose, and I wanted the Browns to win a game. And so that's really when I started watching, and I've tried to watch as much as I could. And there were some really good games. But, I mean, I don't know if a 45-42 game is really that great at Heinz Field for football right now. You know, that's just some really bad defense being played. But, I mean, I'm happy the Steelers lost, so I guess I should just shut my mouth.
I think everybody's happy about that.
I think we all won.
Predictions we were
I think even Roethlisberger's happy about that.
Yeah. I think he's a little tired of then getting hit. And
He's probably tired of saving.
it's a good thing he didn't win because that news would have came out this week.
Yeah. I'd say he's pretty tired of saving chicks from Donald Trump. So
Flexing on him. But I'd say he's probably taking a pretty good beating from his wife right now after that news came out. So.
What about Case Keenum? The week before last we talked about a little bit. You said he would start Bridgewater. Man, what would the Vikings? What do you think they're going to have to do going out? Because they got 3 good quarterbacks going into next year. Well, Keenum's his contract's going up, but wouldn't you almost have to franchise tag him?
I don't think so.
You
don't think so?
Either free agency. I think all 3 of them are for free agency.
Well, yeah. Bridgewater is. I don't know about if Bradford
Well,
is.
I mean, it was a generic question, and me saying that I thought Bridgewater should start was just more emotional.
I mean, he'd still be really good though.
But I mean, from what I hear, they're pretty much saying that Bradford is kind of who they're like standing behind. So I don't really know.
I don't think they should give it. I mean, I love Case Keenum. They shouldn't give him a huge contract yet.
I don't think he would work anywhere else where he does right now.
No, I agree.
If there's any quarterback that deserves a contract, it probably has to be
Kirk Cousins.
Cousins first before Case Keenum.
I don't know. Case Keenum's done a lot. I mean,
he has
Kirk Cousins.
I mean, but look what he has. He's got Latavius Murray. He's got Diggs.
Exactly,
he's got Rudolph. He's got Thielen. He's got the number 1 defense. I mean, come on. How many times has this happened before?
Cousins had passing-wise, weapon-wise, but he still put up 5,000 yards for 2 out of 3 years.
It kind of reminds me of like Tampa Bay when they won with Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I see.
Johnson, let me tell you that guy.
Boom.
Wish I still had him on my team.
So we did the World Series stuff, and I'm not sure that we'll be doing another podcast, but you all made predictions that were correct for the World Series, and like all of my predictions, I sucked it up and picked the Dodgers. So we'll start with Mike. What do you think for Super Bowl?
Honestly, as much as I want to see Jacksonville, I'm thinking I'm going to have to go with NFL.com's prediction from today when they were giving away tickets to the Super Bowl to go see the Patriots and the Vikings.
Yeah. Who wins, though?
I mean, this is breaking my soul to say this, and you know me well to know this is really hurting me to say this. But how do you beat Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? Unless your name is Eli Manning.
And you slobber and run around in circles and throw the ball up and somebody makes a miraculous
Like I said,
catch.
unless your name is Eli Manning, how do you beat Brady in the Super Bowl?
You know what's really going to grind your gears right now? I heard that Mike Vrabel was in line for some head coaching
Tennessee.
jobs.
Yeah, I hate that asshole too.
So Dave, what do you think?
I don't know. It's hard because I mean the Vikings-Eagles game. That's one thing I was going to talk about too. I don't know who I would have winning that game. I mean that game's like I haven't been sold on the Eagles. I've been sold on short, but I mean, the last 2 games, they've proved me wrong. I mean, they've still played okay.
You really don't know if you're going to get good Foles or bad Foles.
Yeah, because you could have, you know.
And Ajayi isn't really doing enough right now to lead the team. The receivers have been shaky. I mean, they do have a good defense, but, I mean.
Defense wins championships.
But I have to go with the Vikings just because of momentum going through.
Yeah.
I mean, it just seemed like such a huge win for them. And
But will they have some type of hangover?
Yeah, I mean, that's possible. That's another factor. I think the Vikings are a better all-around team, except for I think they're better all the way around. Actually, I'm trying to think if
you also got to hope that those running backs show up because there's some games where they're amazing and some games where they're non-existent against teams that they should be running all over.
What are we talking about? The Vikings?
Vikings. I mean, both those guys. There are some games they had this year where neither of them showed up.
But they're not necessarily getting the touches either.
Yeah,
I mean, they're getting 12 or
Murray.
13 touches. They're not getting 20 touches.
No, I understand because they're splitting, but usually one of them would go off or the other, or both of them. But there were some weeks when nothing would happen out of either of them against teams that at least one of them, if not both, should have just been having a field day against.
I think part of it today they didn't get Latavius Murray enough touches this year.
I don't think so either. But I don't think that they really wanted to because I think they were so behind Dalvin Cook so much, and then he went out. You know, I think he was a secondary plan, and I don't think that they want him to be necessarily a feature back as much as a goal line back, which is what he's good at.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm going to have to say the Vikings win that game.
So,
and then in the AFC, it's easy. I mean, the Patriots, I mean, they have pretty much an easy path to the Super Bowl, from now. So, I mean, I think I have to go with the Patriots winning it all.
So you said that you hadn't been watching NFL a lot this year, but will you watch the Super Bowl stuff still, or have you watched any of the games?
I'll watch the Super Bowl. I see clips and stuff on Facebook or Instagram of like the end of that Vikings Saints game. I saw the end of it, and it was pretty cool, pretty good play. But I still for a prediction wise, from what I've seen. I would say Vikings, Patriots, and I say Patriots take it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all you all. I mean, I think it's all really good points. I think the Vikings are all around better team. The only thing that kind of concerns me is when a team that plays in a dome goes out and plays in the weather, but they're from Minnesota. They should be used to it by now. I mean, maybe the coach can make them practice outside this week or something in Minnesota.
It's like the first year playing in the dome, isn't it?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sure there's some holdover players, but you got Latavius Murray who came over from Oakland. You got Case Keenum who came over from I keep calling him St. Louis, from LA.
But he was at St. Louis when they were in St. Louis.
That's a good call. Yeah. Thanks for making me look good. That's why you make me look good.
You're right.
What now?
He was also in Philly for a little bit too, wasn't he?
I don't know. I think he's been
in Philly or KC.
He's a journeyman. But
you know what? The one player I'm really upset wasn't on the team this year though. Clipboard Jesus.
Anyways, the Patriots, man, I haven't. It's the Mike show tonight.
When you make eye contact with him and you just lose it.
I'm still thinking about him doing the spin move. But anyways, doing the pizza dance and hitting the camera off focus.
This will go viral if Mike just got up and did the pizza dance.
I think he should.
Or choke slam one of us through the table.
I'm down for one of that. I don't have a pizza dance.
But anyways, the Patriots, I think that they've been the best team in football, but they're not as dominant as they were last year. They've really got the defense back on track. They can always they have a really good game plan to attack you on offense however they see fit, whether it be run the ball or pass the ball. But I mean, you're talking about the greatest quarterback to ever play the game getting hurt the week of. And first of all, I would love to have been there and see that dude that ran into Brady. I don't know who it was, but if he was a role player, oh my Lord.
Whoever it was, no matter who it was, just got fired.
Not necessarily. I mean, there's certain guys that could do it, and they'd be like, oh, you're cool, bro.
Yeah, but Tom Brady in New England in practice.
But it was an offensive player. It wasn't a defensive player.
Oh, you're definitely fired.
Yeah, especially you got a little.
That's even worse.
NFL. Yeah. My pinky. Oh no.
You'll see Mike Gillislee healthy scratch this week, and you'll be like, oh, now we know. But I mean, it's concerning. To play outside and to have stitches in your hand, I mean, and to be old and probably borderline arthritic like old Brady Bones is. But
yeah, he's got that cult going on, whatever the T12, the
TB12
plan.
TB12.
Yeah, they got. I mean, They're probably
The
doing all
Colts.
kinds of. They're probably doing all kinds
Oh,
of.
leave
good
it to
stuff
David. I mean, but I still go to. They're not Scientology, man.
Doesn't matter.
I still lean towards the Patriots winning that game. I think it did get closer. Like I said, my line would have probably been 13-point Patriot favorite, and maybe 6 now. Because I do think it makes a difference. Because I think they probably had to alter their game plan. I think that they're probably going to make short passes and stuff, anyways. Just try to keep that rush defense at pace and try to hit them before they get to that secondary, which has been pretty good all year. I mean, I know they gave up a lot of yards to Ben, but I mean, Ben's got a lot of weapons. He's got more weapons than
that's exactly why I thought
the
Steelers
Patriots
would be
Yeah,
winning
exactly.
the NFC this year.
I didn't think they were going to win the NFC because you're not going to come in Foxborough and beat them. But especially not the Steelers. They just seem to be cursing that building. But now the injury happened. I mean, the Steelers might have been able to beat them in that scenario, but I still think that the experience is going to overcome Jaguars, probably weather and all the above. Even though I think it's supposed to be pretty warm this weekend, but I agree with that. I think it's going to be Vikings, Patriots, and I think that hopefully the Patriots will win. And with losing 3 assistant coaches and kind of being where they're at right now with all the murmurs and everything, and Brady getting an injury, I think it's time to hang him up. I mean, he'd have 6 championships at this point, and that's the most that any franchise has, and he's a quarterback that has 6 championships. I mean, I think it's time.
He's willing to play another 5 years.
I know,
that's kind of part of that story we talked about a few weeks ago. I read the story since then, and a lot of it made a lot more sense.
I mean, I want a unicorn. Billy wants a tank, but we don't all get what we want. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what the Patriots. That's why they made Belichick trade Garoppolo. So
that's the story.
I mean,
but
why would he give him up for nothing? The story made sense to me.
I think the story is because he was attached to Garoppolo. He was familiar with where Garoppolo was going,
and so much for him, and he traded him off for a
second round pick. They may have been able to get a first or 2 seconds. I mean,
they traded the term for a second round pick to get back because Belichick wanted to get back at the Browns. The Browns offered a first round pick.
Well, he wanted him to play with Shanahan because he didn't want him to play at Cleveland and die out because he thought he would do really well with Kyle Shanahan.
I think all that story is right.
Which is definitely has to be.
These guys are pros. They've been together. It's not a big deal.
I think it's more personal with Belichick against Cleveland because,
Well, then you heard the stuff about the TB12 clinic. That's what
I think we should get behind the camera and just...
I think, let's just switch sides here.
You started, man. I told you, good things happened this week. I'm in a good mood.
So, but I mean, I think we're all in agreement. I think most of America is probably in agreement, and I'm not really sure how the NFL, with their dropping and viewership and everything like that, would benefit from like a Jaguars-Eagles. I think that's worst case scenario for the
Honestly, I think it would have benefited more because it's somebody new in there.
I don't think so. No. You got it in Minnesota. So obviously they want the Vikings.
I'm not talking about the Vikings. I'm talking about the Patriots. I think it would have been, which I would honestly, I prefer the Vikings against Jacksonville.
I'm gonna mic drop you with one solid swift. Jacksonville can't even sell out their own stadium, so how are they gonna sell out the Super Bowl? Do you really think that everybody?
I'm just saying the fact that it's going to be
the Super Bowl's gonna be sold out. But I mean,
I'm thinking it's going to be a different face. So it's not going to be the same old thing. The Patriots, they won.
People want to talk about different and stuff all the time, but like Cowboys, Patriots, everybody wants to see them get there because they want to see them win or they want to see them lose.
Honestly,
ain't nobody care about the Jaguars.
The Cowboys getting to the Super Bowl.
I do. I want to see them lose. That way I can watch my dad cry. It would be great if they played the Patriots, and that would be awesome. Then I got to see my dad cry.
Why? You were a Cowboys fan for so long.
I know, but I got smart. Like you Browns fans, I keep trying to talk you out of it. I'm like, look, dude, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting something different.
But there's also scientific proof that Browns fans are the most dedicated out of all sports.
Or stupid.
They have
Anyways,
to be. They have to be.
So, does that wrap up NFL there, Dave?
Well, I have one question for you with your genius prospecting here.
Before you ask it, you're behind the camera. Before you ask it, you got to do the pizza dance in front of camera.
No, I'm still going to ask.
Okay, truffle shuffle behind camera.
I don't even know how to do truffle. But anyway, who do you think the Browns? Mind you, I'm a giant Browns fan. Who do you think the Browns are ruining with the first pick next year?
I don't care.
Oh, they're getting Allen at quarterback. That seems like a foregone conclusion. I mean, they messed up so bad like the last few years.
Kuiper brought out his first mock draft this week, and he had the Browns taking Wyoming's quarterback over the other two.
Mike Fishman has pizza
Wyoming
and
has
bourbon
talent.
and
It's
takes
not
over
talent.
podcast.
I had a good week, dude.
All right,
Just-
all right.
Title with that.
Just
Title with
let
that.
us finish. Okay. So we're done with NFL. Done. Now let's talk about NBA. Mike doesn't know anything about NBA.
So you think?
So, do you have any thoughts about the NBA? It was kind of a wild week. A lot of technical fouls, ejections,
Oh, yeah.
fights, police
Yeah.
called,
All-star snubs.
all-star snubs. Well, starter stubs. I mean,
Starter snubs, yeah. Starter snubs.
snubs, yeah. It's because Steph Curry has 1.5 million kids that are like, oh, let's buy the Currys and Curry jersey. I don't know a grown man that likes Steph Curry.
I don't think Steph Curry's mom likes Steph Curry.
Did you see the block that dude had?
Yes. Hit him in the
The
face.
guy from the Bulls blocked
Yeah.
him and it hit him in
That's
the
the Lori
face.
Markkanen, and he's gonna be.
Yeah, he's
gonna be
quickest to 3-pointers ever. There was 150 3-pointers
Yeah.
ever. Something
These
like
European guys, I mean, ever since Dirk, none of them have panned out, and then you got there's
Porzingis.
whole then you get the Porzingis, and then Mark Kaikanen. So you got those two guys. I mean,
I'm glad you can
it's-
pronounce his name. I had no idea.
Yeah, Mark Kaikanen.
Maybe Ball's on something, sending his kids to Lithuania.
What about
Are
what
you
about
from like Sweden or something?
I don't. He played in Arizona last year, and they did really well.
what about the Cavs struggles? I mean, we've talked about it before. There's a lot of animosity and drama coming out of there. LeBron's coming out saying that he wanted to keep the band together and didn't want Kyrie to leave. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts, and I think we kind of talked about that and kind of predicted a little
Yeah.
bit. They're older, they're slower.
It happens every year, and LeBron's burned a lot of bridges. There's a lot of players that probably wouldn't want to come play with him. Charles Barkley called him a drama queen the other day, which is probably
I agree with that.
the fairest assessment of him. I mean, he's probably the root of all their problems. And, what's going to happen is Lou's going to get fired. They're going to bring in another coach, probably in a month or so, and they're going to eventually gel, and they're going to make a playoff run, and it's just like it does. It's like a cycle. It's like
Yeah.
the LeBron cycle.
Yeah,
They're
but
not going to bring another coach. They're going to hire
Yeah.
me just to stand there in a suit and say,
Yeah.
all right, guys,
Yeah.
listen to LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron's
My-
going to tell them what to do.
my concern though is there's a lot of old bodies on that team, and I understand that they're probably going to gel at some point and kind of get the ship righted, but
Yeah.
what happens if one of those players break down? What if LeBron has more minutes on him than anybody? He's a freak. He never gets hurt. Sooner or later, one of them joints has to pop. I mean,
What I think is he's holding the team hostage too. I mean, the team could go out and trade their draft pick.
but they
Yeah, but they don't know
won't.
if LeBron's going to leave. If LeBron's going to leave, you want to keep that.
They've
draft
already
pick.
traded a franchise player in,
Yeah.
in Kyrie
Yeah,
and Wiggins, maybe even potentially.
I mean, they could go out and get somebody with that pick, like trade a team for somebody decent. But I mean, the Cavs can't budge because LeBron could leave next year.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably will leave.
I'm interested to see how it all plays out because the Celtics are still staying at the top of the Eastern Conference, but
That's like the Raptors
it's
right there.
it's miraculous to see that they've been able to keep it all together with Gordon Hayward going out the first game, and like Mike said, you got the Raptors that are playing really well right now.
Raptors, I don't think I'll ever believe in them.
Yeah.
Like every year,
Those-
I'll get to the point where I'm almost sold, and they just suck in the
Them and the
playoffs.
Wizards, that's
Yeah, the
one
Wizards
too.
are like that too. Yeah.
And then you kind of shift over to the West, and the Warriors are kind of back in their swing of things. I mean, they look like the best team in basketball, as much as that literally hurts my soul to say it. And I mean, I think that they look really tough to beat right now. The Rockets, to me, I never thought that was a good situation, and now you kind of got Harden and Paul. Neither one of them can stay healthy on the court together. I think the Spurs are really surprising that they're staying there in the top 4, top 5 of the conference. I mean, with Kawhi being out, a large portion of the year, that's pretty amazing. And, the Thunder are just so up and down. I really don't know what to think about them. They've won several in a row here. I can't remember how many they've won, and they're like 7 games over 500 now. So, I mean, I think that they're poised to make a run, and I really hope that they get it together because I think that will make for some interesting playoff matchups.
I hope they get it together too, because I don't want to see Donovan come back to college basketball. Like what if he went to Louisville, like a place like right next to Kentucky, and play Kentucky every year again?
I think
he's
it's-
such a good coach.
I don't think his job's at risk right now.
I mean, I think if everything blows up at the end, like
Yeah, but
You
I
have
mean,
to start over.
do you really think it's going to blow up? The biggest problem to me when I watch OKC is that they play to the level of their opponents, meaning that they play a bad team and they play down there, and then they end up getting beat in a close game or something, and then they play somebody like the Warriors and they blow them out. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So you're playing to your level of competition. It's almost like, with Anthony and George, like, it's almost like, especially with Anthony, he's been in the league so long, like it's almost like he's complacent or something. And then you'll see a 30-point outburst or whatever, or they'll play a good team and everybody plays it at another level. I mean, it's kind of hard to put your finger on. Have you got to watch any NBA this year?
Not really.
Have you ever been an NBA fan?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Tomorrow night there's a really good game on. The Rockets and Warriors. I think this tomorrow night. It's not tonight. Yeah.
Is Harden playing?
I think so. Should be a really good game.
Is Chris Paul playing? No, he didn't get suspended. He didn't get Gerald Green and Trevor Reeves.
That's such a good story. Like Chris Paul led them.
It was like all made up too.
You think it was all made
they're
up?
like it. They're like it. There was a distraction at the door, and they came through the back in a secret tunnel.
Yeah.
And they're like
Chris Paul knew about.
They're like, no, it's not a secret tunnel. It's just a hallway back there. Like, and nobody came to the door. There was just somebody out in the hallway mouthing. I mean, I'm sure that happens in the NBA a lot. But I mean, let's be serious here. Has anybody ever seen a quality NBA fight? The only time it's ever happened is with the fans in the stand. It
Ron
wasn't
Artest.
Pistons,
Yeah, that's the one that always comes to
Jermaine
mind.
O'Neal. But
Ron
that was
Artest hit the wrong guy.
Jermaine O'Neal with that clutch slide tackle on that.
Right,
fan.
that slide into second knockout.
Could you imagine just sitting there? You're like, oh, I got these NBA tickets. We're close up.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to go. And then, like, the guy next to you does something. Ron Artest comes up and just punches him.
Either that, or you go to use the bathroom, or like
Just so
go get some
illegally
food and you
out
come
in
back.
school for that fight.
You go to use the bathroom or get some food or something, and you come back and you're like, what's going on? Like Ron Artest is up in
Watching a hockey game or?
It's surprising that they even let him ever come back after that. And I think if that happened now.
because he changed his name.
Meta
Meta
World
World
Peace.
Peace.
Meta World Peace.
Yeah.
Didn't he change it to something like Dolphin Lover, Meta World
Panda Man or
Yeah.
something.
Panda,
He's been playing
Panda.
China for like a
I mean,
months.
let's be honest. Of course, somebody's gonna let him come back. They let Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman
play
never
football.
ran out
The
and
worm.
punched a fan.
Are you kidding me?
Dennis Rodman?
Maybe not during a game.
Yeah,
but how
not
many times
during
did
a
that man
game.
get catch an assault charge?
Against what?
Hey, you don't know what Carmen Electra said to him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Anyways,
Or
so
the aliens.
I think it's kind of getting to a really interesting point in the NBA, and it's so strange to me that like it seems like this is the year of the postseason for me because I couldn't get into MLB. Postseason came, we made predictions on it, and actually got me to watch it. And then I didn't really watch through the NFL season because of hunting or whatever. Postseason's here, and I'm watching almost every game. And I'm trying to get in the NBA, and I think the biggest problem is like all the quality games come on so late.
Too late. That's my biggest problem. The other night I tried to stay up to watch the Thunder and Lakers game. I think I made it to the
That was
second
probably like a
quarter.
10:30 game, wasn't it?
No, it was like they started at 8. And that's why I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this. I was so excited.
Well,
I think I fell asleep in the second quarter.
All the games are so long. I mean, even NFL games now, it's a 4.5 hour commitment of your life.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about baseball. They're every year coming ways to actively shorten the game.
And it's still 4 hours long.
But baseball and football both are like lounges because they come on during the daytime.
Yeah.
And you can kind of sit like on the couch, like a piece
But
of crap, and
those
eat your
Saturday,
Domino's pizza.
those Saturday games, were like they came on later. It was like 4 and 8 or something,
Yeah.
and so like you're like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And you're like, it's halftime. It's only halftime. It's 11 o'clock at night. I mean, I'm too old for that.
Yeah, I am
I
too.
don't have that commitment in my life anymore. So.
I'll probably fall asleep in the movies that we're going to after this. I'll be like,
I'm gonna slap you if you do.
yeah, I hope you do because
How dare you fall asleep?
yeah.
Have you seen
that's
Star
Curtis
Wars yet?
Jackson.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Are you a Star Wars fan?
Yeah.
I got a babysitter. I got IMAX tickets that were like $40 a piece.
Are you asking me out on a date right now?
No.
He's not asking you. Assuming you're
Would I even have to ask?
No.
Um,
Let's go.
But anyways, I got a babysitter. I got $40 IMAX tickets. Took my wife out to dinner, and then we went to the movie.
It's about her.
And literally the first scene, there's like shooting going on. I look over and she's like, I'm like, I spent $40 on this ticket.
I would
Like,
have had the divorce papers ready right there. Not only did you spend $40 on there, you fell asleep during Star Wars.
well, I mean, what do you do?
Mike's advocating for
That's a
domestic-
capital punishment. Crime.
Yeah, he changed his story there. I would have slapped. I mean, gave her some divorce papers.
I gotta keep it somewhat
You
good.
you got served.
He was like, Dennis Rodman's off. We beat up his wife. I would have slapped her.
OJ did it.
All right. Anyways, we have any more NFL, NBA, anything that
Did
you
you
want?
see? Have you been keeping up with any baseball off-season stuff? I don't think probably anybody has. Pirates got rid of their two best players like within like a couple of days. Of each other.
One
They got rid
of
of
the best
McCutcheon.
players ever.
Yeah, McCutcheon
McCutcheon's
and
now
Garrett
plays for
Cole.
the Giants.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's just the only thing I've got.
Do you
to
think
add.
that they're
That's
like
just-
trying to Astros everything, get some draft picks or something?
Well, they said the owner acted like that they were going broke, like the organization, I guess. But
No.
I'm gonna help the Reds out. Reds will win 5 more games this year.
Actually, I saw where the Indians were like surprise front runners for. Can't remember his name. He plays for the Orioles. What's his like? It's not Mikado, but I can't remember his name for the life of me. Manny something.
Manny Machado.
Yeah, I was close. But yeah, the Indians are like a surprise front runner for him.
They should try to
Should have
trade
gave
for-
Mike the pizza while we're doing the podcast.
Yeah.
You'd have
They
been
should try
quiet.
to
yeah.
trade for.
Well, you don't have enough bourbon, so I got to do something.
What's his name? The dude, Starlin Castro. That's it. Because he's went out, and he'd be the best player to go after.
So, anyways, let's get on to the main event here.
You asked the question.
So, I was asking David, not you. Anyways, so we got some big fight cards coming up this weekend. I think right before the podcast, we decided that we're going to break down each leg of the Bellator tournament. So, I guess we're just going to break down the opening round. But to me, I think that Bellator actually has a better card than UFC this weekend. So maybe we can talk about UFC first and then try to jump into Bellator from there. So your boy Ozdemir
Ozdemir, yeah.
is fighting for the title
Yeah.
in Cormier this weekend. So what are you thinking about that?
I don't know. I didn't even really know about about that being on that card. I was so hyped over Ngannou and Stipe
Yeah.
that I overlooked that, and then now I'm like it got put in my lap like all of a sudden, and that's a tough one to call. I think DC probably might be able to control it with his superior wrestling, his Olympic wrestling, but it's a tough one to call because Ozdemir's got freaky strength and he's a good dirty boxer, and we've seen it before. And
Even when we doubt, even
even
when I
when you
doubted.
doubted him,
You did not
Yeah.
doubt. I guess the way I look at it, to me, Ozdemir is almost like a side story because I really want to know where Cormier's head's at.
Mhm.
You know, you coming off the big build up with John Jones, and he showed such versatile skills in that fight to the point that he got head kicked. You know, let's not leave that out. But then you got Jones testing positive after that, and he gets stripped of the title. They give it back to DC. And now it seems like DC's like trying to create another Jones animosity here, and I think it's almost just to get himself hyped up. And then you got the side story of Luke Rockhold training with Ozdemir now.
Mhm.
He's down in Florida training with him. So, I mean, there's a lot of components here that's going on. To me, I actually think that DC's striking is good enough to stand with Ozdemir. But Ozdemir hits people, and it's not impactful, but they just – I can't explain it. Like
Got
that
freaky strength.
that punch on Misha was like, I mean, it looked like a love tap, and he just like up dead,
Yeah.
up dead,
Yeah.
and then Jimmy Manuel, he hits him, and Jimmy Manuel was like kind of getting a little blurry,
Wobbled, yeah.
and then he like picks him up and slams down. You're like, is that a Mortal Kombat move?
It was like fatality.
Yeah, I mean, so you see Jimmy Manuel's soul coming out.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's just floating up to the fight.
I mean, I don't really know what to think about it. I think that, to me, if DC is even in the realm of where he was for the Jones fight, I think he wins this fight easily because he can dictate where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I think obviously Ozdemir has the ability to change the fight with one punch or one strike, wherever it may be. But Ozdemir, this is a big step up from him.
Oh, yeah.
We've talked about the top three in that division and the step up from there. And this is the step up. I mean, Jimmy Manuel was a quality guy, but I mean, he's been beat a lot by those top three guys easily.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then, you know, he's not a guy to me that was ever in a serious contention for that title. I think it's always been Jones, Cormier, and Gustafson. Well, you know, even Rumble, I mean, he looked like way outclassed by DC twice.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And the second time, I don't even think he really wanted to fight.
Yeah, that was weird.
So, I mean, to me, it's always been DC, Jones, and Gustafson. Those guys are cream of the crop, and then there's a little bit of a ledge drop off, and then you've got the rest of the guys, which are still really good. But you look at Ron Bader, and he never could get up to that top tier, and he goes to Bellator, and he's a champion now. So I mean, that shows you how good those three guys are, and once again, we're blessed to live in a time with Cormier and Jones. Unfortunately, Jones can't get his life together in order to give us a quality win that's not tainted at this point. So, we're kind of going away. The predictions for me are terrible. I mean, I was like 2-6 for the NFL playoffs. Yeah. But I mean, how do you see that fight playing out? I mean,
like you talked about just now, Ozdemir hasn't fought anybody like that before. It's a huge step up. He might crumble under the pressure, but he might surprise us. But like you said, he might land one punch and change the whole outcome of the fight. But overall, the whole way that I see it, I see DC controlling him, DC dictating where it goes, DC maybe outworking him, grinding him, pretty much Cain Velasquezing him. That's a verb now. Cain Velasquezing somebody.
That could either mean hurting your back or
either way.
It might be Khabib now. It might be Khabib and somebody.
Yeah, Khabib and somebody. But I mean, I just my pick's DC. It's just
the only thing that scares me in all this, like the Ozdemir thing hitting him, like DC's been hit by a lot of bigger, stronger punchers. But the fact remains that you've got the Chuck Liddell thing where Chuck Liddell gets knocked out really bad and he's never the same.
Yeah.
Like, is that the same thing that Cormier's going to happen to where he's had such an iron chin and he's expecting to take a punch and now he can't take it anymore? Because that's what happened to Chuck. I mean, Chuck was getting hit by shots that he would just laugh off before and he's going to sleep. I mean, it's almost... I mean, you just reach a point where you're almost 40 years old that just kind of goes away. I mean, even Anderson Silva was almost 40, and this started going away with him. Now, DC's a wrestler. They're a different breed. It's almost like their bones are stronger. So maybe he can absorb it. I agree with you. I actually give the favor to DC anywhere because I think that the fear of being taken down for a guy from Europe that isn't facing those top-end wrestlers all the time, and you got a guy that can wrestle. I mean, he can literally... If you remember the second Jones fight, DC was just reaching down and touching his leg. I mean, to Jones, that's like, go ahead and try. I can defend it. But to a guy like Ozdemir, I mean, every time DC does that, he's probably going to tense up a little bit thinking about getting taken down. So to me, I definitely agree with you. I think Cormier's better in every facet. And I think he can dictate where it goes. If he doesn't like what's happening on the feet, he can take him down and grind him out. Or, he's shown the ability to hurt people on the feet. He gets them down, they turn their back, and he finishes the fight. So, I would definitely give the edge to Cormier. And I think he needs it. I mean, his life's been such a roller coaster. Everybody talks about John Jones' life, but nobody's life has been affected more than Cormier's because
he's been right.
He wants to beat the guy so much, and there's been so many drug tests and all that stuff that have been overturned and everything, and it's just hard for him to mentally overcome it. So I think he needs this, and I think that might be why he's trying to build the animosity because he's had John Jones there for so long. He needs something else to hype him up.
He needs a new rival right now.
Yeah. So what are you thinking about the main event of that card? Because to me, there's not a lot else going on in that.
Yeah, this is the one that I really am looking forward to. I love heavyweights. I love watching them get in there, and you never know what could happen because they're just so big and so powerful and so strong. But to me, did you see the video that I shared of Ngannou hitting pads?
Yeah.
Did you see him, the leg kicks, knocking his...
I don't know how legit that was.
Well, it looked like it kind of looked like the mitt guy was like making it.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody does that. Any good mitt holder will do that.
But I feel like Ngannou gets him.
Obviously on the feet.
Oh, yeah. I think Stipe is more well-rounded, I believe. But I feel like Ngannou is just too much.
I have doubted Stipe at every turn, and after his last fight, I was like, I'm done doubting him. I'm not gonna doubt him anymore.
He's clutch.
I mean, you look at the list of dudes that he's fought now. Albie, it's later on in their careers. I mean, you're talking about guys that are in their late 30s that have been through wars before. But I'm just tired of doubting the guy. I mean, And to me, when I watched all the countdown show and everything else, it really pissed me off. You got a heavyweight champion, and all you're talking about is Francis Ngannou,
Yeah.
and that pisses me off. He's at their training facility. He's all these things. I posted a picture on Instagram where I was like, if anybody watched this countdown, it's like the plot of Rocky IV. You got this
Yeah, I
big
saw that.
nasty challenger who's being trained in the state art facility. They're probably shooting him up with something great that nobody knows that they can test
They
positive
can't find
for.
it yet.
And they're just building him out to be this unstoppable force. And you got Stipe, who's, he's fought everyone that you could think of. He's beat
Cleared
Verdum in Brazil.
The division. He's pretty well
Cleared the division, other than Kane. And
Yeah.
Kane can't get healthy.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know. The thing about this fight is, like, regardless of who wins, what do you do next with the heavyweight division?
They need to do something to try to pull some talent into there. Try to pull some young talent into there.
But all the young talent is going to the NBA. They're going to the NFL. Like, all these guys that are big, great athletes.
Yeah.
The only guys that you're getting back are the guys that don't pan out in the NFL, like Mitrione or Brendan Schaub or whatever it may be. And that's not downplaying them. I mean,
No,
The Rock's the biggest superstar in the world, and he didn't pan out in the NFL.
Yeah.
So it's not.
There's several of those guys.
And they go other places. Stipe was a baseball player, and it didn't work out for him. So all these guys are big, amazing athletes, and they're going to other sports. And so that's the biggest competition for the UFC now. And, getting those guys into the UFC. I don't know what the answer for it is. I just know that I'm not going to doubt Stipe anymore. I think after watching that countdown show, I even more so want him to win. I'm not sure what it does for the UFC to have a champion that barely speaks English. I guess they can kind of market him like Tyson or something like that.
Yeah, like just a big killer. They're big heavyweight killer. But for sure, I'm not doubting Stipe in any way.
I get it.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be overwhelmed. I just feel like he's going to have a
I
guy
don't
that's...
think that. And I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that it's going to be overwhelmed. I think it's going to be one shot. Let's be realistic. It's not going to be like Ngannou's going to get in there and hit him with a 4-punch piece or something like that. It's going to be something he doesn't see coming from a weird angle that puts him on Dream Street. And he's been hurt before. He was hurt in the Alistair fight. And, for him, I think the most important thing is to not be overconfident. Yes, you've knocked these guys out with your hands, but once again, these are guys in their late 30s. And Ngannou's older because he wanted to be a boxer for a while. He's older, but I think it's important to not get overconfident, to realize, hey, we probably need to try to grapple this dude, or at least take his legs or something to get in his head
to him, make him uncomfortable.
to do that. Because to me, Ngannou's just a better version of Czech Congo.
Yeah, I see that.
That's what I think we have going on. And these guys pretty early on figured out Congo. You think back to the Cain Velasquez fight before Cain Velasquez was champion. And basically he just rode Congo for like 3 straight rounds. Tried to take him down anytime he could, and when he couldn't get him down, he pinned against the fence.
Yeah.
And I think that might be the path to beat Ngannou, because I don't know that Stipe standing up with him is even close to a good idea.
Yeah, that's. I hope Stipe he's got good stand up, good boxing, and I hope he doesn't try to stand with him.
Because the last young guy that he's fought that didn't have chin issues was Struve, and Struve knocked him out. You got all these dudes with chin issues: Arlovsky, Brown,
Alistair.
And Verdum's never really shown chin issues before, but he's still an older guy that's been through wars. Dos Santos, he's never really shown chin issues before, but he's an older guy that's been through wars. So you're getting a lot of guys that are at the end of the rope, and Ngannou's kind of up and coming, and I think he needs to handle with care and have a better game plan. And I'm not sure that he can get a better game plan with the coaches that he uses. I know they've got him to this point, but like, I watched his training video, and he's training in this dark gym with a dude that probably has a full-time job. I think Stipe still has a full-time job.
Yeah, he's a firefighter.
And so you're not getting the same quality that Francis Ngannou's getting over in the UFC Institute. So,
patch for me.
I was molded by it.
but anyways, I just don't know that he can get the quality looks. And I think he has to be very smart and very, very careful. But I'm not going to doubt the dude anymore because
he's
and I don't want Ngannou to win anymore.
I was super surprised in that Alistair fight that Stipe, because like you said, he got rocked, and then all of a sudden he was just destroying him.
Well, let's be honest. I mean, Alistair Overeem at this point can be knocked over by a strong wind.
Yeah.
So I mean, his chin is just gone, and that's probably because he's not on the Bane juice anymore, too.
Oh
You
yeah.
think he's taking the Bane juice in the chin?
I mean, it doesn't matter. His neck muscles were so large that it didn't let his head go anywhere. So neck muscles are pretty important when it comes to concussions. He don't have them anymore. So, but anyways, that's some good thoughts on that. So I guess we'll step over to Bellator now. And you got the return of Michael Chandler post freak accident on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And he's fighting a dude that's a really good grappler. I'm surprised that he's not fighting for the title right away, especially the way that it all went down. I think we both thought he was probably going to be fighting for the title, but they can't get that other dude. I can't remember his name.
I don't either. I don't
It doesn't matter.
The only thing I remember from that night was when they moved the stool and he fell back. It was horrible.
I remember Chandler rocking him with one leg.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was falling backwards.
Brent Primus.
Yeah.
So all he's doing to me is holding Chandler's belt, and I think that this dude is the unfortunate first stop on Michael Chandler reclaiming his title.
Yeah.
But the dude he's fighting is good, and I can't remember his name, and I should have looked it up, but I actually forgot it was on this card because the two top fights, it's kind of like you were talking about with Cormier and DC.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not advertising it. Like, why are you not advertising Michael Chandler? He's been there every step of the way for you. He's been one of the best champions you've ever had.
The only thing
they're
they're showing is Rampage and Chael. That's it.
I mean, they bumped Lima and Rory down to the co-main.
Yeah.
So, well, let's step up to the co-main then. So it's a fight that we've been excited for a while in Lima versus Rory, and I mean, I think it's great for Bellator. To me, that fight is just as good as what the UFC is putting on.
Oh yeah.
Because Lima's been such a hot commodity for them. He's beat a lot of UFC guys that have came over. Obviously, you got Rory that came over and just treated Paul Daly like a child, and now you've got the title fight here. So, what do you give us your assessment of that? What do you think is going to happen?
I think Rory takes it. I think Rory just controls everything. I think he's going to go in there and have tunnel vision straight for the title.
How do you think he's going to do it, though? Do you think he's going to try to strike, or do you think he's just going to do whatever he wants?
I think he pretty well dictate the fight, to be honest. He might even try to take him down and ground and pound him out. And try to just stay on it. King Velasquez him.
I see that as maybe being a little bit better route for his victory. I do think he can stand with him. I'm not sure that he'll be able to finish him on the feet. I think he's going to have to incorporate some type of ground game, some type of jiu-jitsu. But, I do feel like his striking is good enough to stand in there and hang with him. But I do feel like that the ground game is the difference in this fight. I think that Rory's been on a mission. I think it's very poor choice by Bellator to bump him down, though, because Rory was such a good free agent signing. And, you got Paul Daly coming out this week being mad at Bellator, and now you got, one of your premier signings that was the main event that you bumped down.
Getting demoted.
That doesn't make sense to me. Like, you should be lifting this guy up. The heavyweight tournament's going to sell no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you got somebody like Rampage and Sonnen, it's going to draw eyes no matter what, whether it's the main event or the co-main. So I don't know who made that decision. Maybe it's because Chael's got more followers on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. I don't know. But to me, that's a bad business decision by Bellator, because you've got two really young, talented guys that should be at the top of the card. And it's kind of like what we were talking about with Chael and Vanderlei being the main event back at the pay-per-view. Like, why would you do that? Like, put them in the beginning of the card and put the younger, hotter guys at the top. It just didn't make any sense to me. So, but yeah, I see Rory being able to kind of dictate where the fight goes, however he wants to handle it. I think his stand-up game is good enough, but I think Lima does have some sincere power that he needs to be afraid of. But I see him using his striking to get in close, get him down, try to probably use striking and jiu-jitsu, in my opinion. So, but it could be a war. I mean, if Rory wants to stand and bang with him, it could be a war.
It'll be a war. Lima's not gonna be a slouch.
Yeah, it just depends on how everything goes. You know, there is a little bit of luck involved. If Rory's able to capitalize and get an early dominant position, I think he could finish it early. But at the same time, if he decides he wants to stand, then I think Lima could give enough resistance to make it a pretty good war, and Lima may clip him. I mean, go back to the Korshkov fight. I'm a big fan of Korshkov, and I think he's dangerous to anybody in the division, including Rory. And, you know, Korshkov was kind of dictating that fight, and one punch changed it all. And next thing you know, Lima's the title holder.
Yeah.
And then he gets put in there with Paul Daly, and, I mean, it wasn't an entertaining fight, but he won it. I mean, clearly. So, interesting matchup. I'm really interested to see where all that goes, because I think the welterweight division is exciting. Is if Paul Daly will stop being a baby, and you can kind of interject him into the division. Although if Rory wins, nobody wants to see that. I know that I want to see Daly versus MVP in that division in Bellator. That would be a pretty Brit on Brit fight. Kind of guys that are only have a certain skill set, which is the strike. So that would be interesting to see that fight. But I don't think that anybody wants to see Rory versus Daly again with as bad as Rory kind of put it on in the first fight. So.
Totally one-sided, yeah.
Yeah, so that brings us to the opening bout of the Bellator Heavyweight Grand Prix, as they were calling it, and which is Sonnen versus Rampage. So, you know, how do you see all that playing out?
Okay. I don't know if you've noticed, but have you seen how big Rampage has gotten for this? It's insane. They did their face-off, and Chael looked like a middle schooler, and Rampage looked like a high schooler or senior. So, but that aside, that's going to affect Rampage's cardio. I don't see Rampage winning if it goes out of the first round.
That's an interesting assessment.
I see Chael's going to be a cardio machine, a non-stop grinding machine. So if it goes out of the first round, I think Chael can outpoint him with a decision. But my pick is going to be Rampage. Rampage is my guy. And I think Rampage, I don't think that Chael will get a takedown on him in the first round. And if Rampage can keep it standing, I think Rampage will knock him out or TKO him.
Well, I actually meant to bring that up earlier, because in the Stipe Ngannou fight, Ngannou's got like 20 pounds on Stipe, which I think could play a factor, especially in the grappling round. And then in this fight, you've got Rampage, who has like 30 pounds, 30 plus pounds on Sonnen. I think Sonnen weighed in at 220 something, and Rampage was at 250 something. But Rampage had abs still. So
yeah,
it wasn't like he was just putting on.
He's been powerlifting.
So David's over here watching videos, or
See, notice when it switches to MMA. Yeah.
We should have started.
It got quiet over there.
We should have led with that.
So,
we should have led.
You want us to go?
David's mad now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Anyways.
But yeah, Rampage has been powerlifting, but I mean, if you're packing that much weight, I mean, even if it is muscle, it is going to affect your cardio, and it's going to make it's going to make you start breathing heavy. And Rampage throws everything with everything that he has. So, and Chael's going to be a little fast target for him.
Yeah, and see, you know, I think that Rampage has kind of been to some decisions, especially in Bellator, with guys like King Mo, who have better wrestling than Chael, and I would say on par cardio. And, you know, he's won those decisions. They haven't been pretty, but I can't see Chael being able to do anything. Chael's boxing is underrated, but, you know, I still think that Rampage obviously has the advantage in the striking department, and I don't see any way that Chael can put him in danger. I can't see him taking him down. And I don't even really necessarily seeing Chael being able to wear him down. I mean, if he was able to wear him down, in my opinion, it would actually probably be in the third round. I don't even think it would be in the second. And he would have to obviously probably endure a lot of striking in the meantime. I mean, in the Vanderlei-Chael fight, Vanderlei clipped him one time and hurt him really bad. And Chael didn't have any problem taking down Vanderlei, but Vanderlei was like the same size as him. And
Vanderlei's not.
Yeah, he doesn't have wrestling on par with Rampage either.
Yeah, Rampage right now looks like the Hulk. So, I mean, compared to his old self.
I can't remember what they called him. It was the Marvel, I think it was like the Hulk Buster. They're like somebody Hulk Bustered Rampage or something like that. So.
Did you hear about their little bet they have going on with that?
No. There's always a side bet.
Yeah, well, Rampage bet Chael. Well, yeah, I think it's Rampage bet Chael that $10,000 a takedown.
Interesting.
Yeah, if Chael takes him down, Rampage gives him 10 grand. If Chael goes in and can't get it, can't finish the job.
I wonder if Rampage can come through on that if he doesn't win. You think he's got enough purse money laying around?
Oh yeah.
So it should be if Rampage wins.
It's not purse money, it's the 18 money.
If Rampage wins, he should make him watch that awful 18 movie. Make him sit through that.
Hey, I thought that was a good
Yeah.
one.
So did
You don't
I.
like that?
I like that.
I mean, it was just cheesy. I mean, the 18 was
It
always.
was cheesy.
Tell me an 18 episode that wasn't
That's
cheesy.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. But I
So-
guess the old 18 was pretty good.
So, David, you've actually been watching MMA lately. Did you have any assessments, or David's actually been watching the Bellator events?
No, this one, I mean, they're both pretty old on the main event. I mean, Rampage, is he at 40? And, no, son, he has to be over 40. The only fights I remember seeing before was when Anderson Silva beat him the first time and the second time.
Yeah.
Well, they just fought twice, didn't they?
He's an older
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty common for wrestlers, though. I mean, Randy Couture didn't come to the UFC till he was 36.
Yeah.
So, I
Well, they're
mean,
both older, too, so, I mean, it should be pretty even that ways. But
You
Yeah.
saw him. You were there that night for the Vanderlei fight.
yeah, I forgot about that, too, yeah.
yeah, I think we were all checked
He
out
beat
at
him
that
that
point.
night.
Yeah, I was pretty well checked out before Mitrione and Fedor. I didn't want to see that.
It was emotionally checked out.
I tried to give
emotionally
everybody a
checked out.
pointer. I said I didn't want to go in there and be disappointed. So I don't really even remember it, to be honest, and I want to keep that part etched out on my
Stop
head.
talking about it.
I'm trying to remember how it went down, but I don't either, so.
Yeah. It was like a double knockdown, and then
It was-
Mitrione.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You
Billy.
said stop talking about it, Kellen.
Couldn't help it.
You're
The
going to
ma-
get your first tears on camera.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Shameless plug.
So, Mike, any?
I've never liked Chael Sonnen, ever. And I remember the first time I ever seen Rampage, it was in your parents' basement. Because it was back when Pride did the awesome entrances, and you just had a dude picking a guy up and slamming him suplex style. Or not suplex, but powerbomb style.
He was in a triangle. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Ricardo Arona. It's pretty famous.
Yeah, I mean that's my introduction to Rampage. I mean, and yada yada yada. Dave's horrible analysis of the 18 side. I mean,
And they're both old.
18
old.
sucks.
Domino's
I mean,
sucks.
Rampage
Domino's
is a
sucks.
sickle, murderous felon. That aside, I gotta go Rampage on it. I really do.
Yeah.
And I can't go
What
against
about your
my
boy
hometown
Stipe? Yeah, okay.
Can't go against
Oh.
him.
Yeah, I got Steve.
And you said earlier, because you said you thought he was still work, you said firefighter. Actually, he's a firefighter for Valley View.
Stipe beat up Mike when they were little kids.
Probably. I mean,
The
we
big streets of
literally
Cleveland.
grew up 15 minutes apart.
Yeah. Mike's like, can I play guys? And he's like,
No. You're too small. And I'm not a small guy by no means. Y'all know this. Y'all
Yeah.
see my fat butt on the camera. But, I mean, I can't go against him.
Yeah, I get it.
yeah.
I don't know what's next on the docket for the heavyweight tournament. At one point in time, I thought it was actually
It's,
the Fedor fight, but I haven't seen that being scheduled.
I'm pretty sure it's Fedor and Mir, because I know
it was supposed to be in St. Louis, but they haven't scheduled it yet.
I know Bader and King Mo are last.
Yeah. We'll see. Fedor and Mir is the third fight. Yeah.
Oh, so Mitrione and Nelson are next.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
gonna be an interesting fight to pick.
We'll save that one. Do you want
Yeah.
to save that one for a different?
Yeah, I mean, if that's
Okay.
what you want to do, for
I
sure.
mean-
I mean, we're running low on time anyway because we
Hmm.
talked about the NFL for a while.
Huh.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, I think we should save them for later, and I think that it's going to give us an idea of the matchups because, like right now,
After
you've
we
got the winner of this fight
Yeah.
fighting
After
the
we
winner
watch this
of
one.
Mir and Fedor,
Yeah.
and then the other side is. I mean, I think it's interesting how you have light heavyweights on either side because you
Yeah.
got King Mo and Ryan Bader, and then you got on this side. I mean, Rampage doesn't look like a light heavyweight, but for a guy that spent a majority of his career at light heavyweight, you know. That just shows you, I guess, how much these guys cut weight because he looks pretty natural. And I didn't think he looked good whenever they announced the fight. I thought he looked really chubby and everything else. But he's apparently took it pretty seriously, I guess, the thought of maybe fighting Fedor or Mears.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't really need to go in there weighing 210 or something against Fedor or Mir.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what they do with the alternates for this tournament, too, because, you know, they haven't really named anybody yet, but the alternates played a big factor in the light heavyweight tournament when they did it. Because you had Francis Carmont and somebody else, and Francis Carmont came out of it, and then he ended up having to go in there when King Mo got hurt. And then you had Phil Davis finishing him. So I'm interested to see what they do with the alternates. I've heard Rory is clamoring for a spot.
You also remember the Strikeforce heavyweight tournament. DC was a step in.
And he won it.
And came in there and handled Josh Barnett.
Yeah, so I think the alternates play a big role in this, especially on that final night, because you got I assume that they'll probably do it the way that Pride used to do it, where you have the two semifinals and the final fight. So I assume that that's the way they'll do it. Who knows? They may not, because they are heavyweights and a majority of them are in their 40s. So might be a little old and brittle Tom Brady hands over here. So
going on with what you were saying, the Fedor fight is slated for Chicago in April.
Chicago in April.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it circled in my notes.
Okay.
Which
okay.
You and me might have to talk about later.
When is the next fight?
It's in February. Well, let me see when it is.
Is it the end of February?
Hold on, let me see.
I don't have the dates down for the second.
Meathead and Nelson.
February 16th.
Yeah.
In Connecticut. And that is
The casino, I'm sure.
Mitrione and Nelson.
Yeah. Meathead and Big Country.
So I guess we'll be back next time to talk.
That ring, boys.
We'll be able to talk about that one next time, which I actually think is one of the more interesting matchups. That one and the King Mo.
And it's good that they
actually they're all good.
And Nelson and Mitrione have fought before.
Yeah. The Fedor Mir one. Right down as mine.
Fedor versus Mir back in like 09 would have been insane.
Crazy. It probably would have broke
been insane.
Especially if they had
But Mir would have never been a challenge.
Not in Pride rules.
No.
Depends on where it is.
You think he would have fought outside of Pride?
Fedor?
Back then?
I don't know. Everybody that fought back then was UFC coming to Pride, because Dana White wanted to prove that his guys were on par. And so you got Chuck Liddell going over for the light heavyweight Grand Prix in 2005.
You really think he would have fought outside of Pride back then?
I just threw it out there. I mean, because Pride, there was no rules. They're like, we will not test you for steroids in big bold letters. I mean, that was one of the songs.
And getting paid with Yakuza money.
Yakuza. Instant NUA came out with.
Did you not hear on that podcast, on the Joe Rogan Experience?
He's got some great Pride stories.
It was Mauro Ranello and Boss Rutan were talking about how, like,
I was gonna say, can you imagine all the stories they have?
Oh yeah, they told a lot of them on that podcast, and they were talking about how, like, the Yakuza would, like, bring Rampage like a briefcase of just like cash, and just
and he would
slam him 3 times.
He would howl and
and he'd go, ooh, break the chain.
So I want to end the podcast on something a little bit different, because I've been to several events in my life, but I've never been to a NASCAR race. And this spring you actually got to go to one, so I wanted to see if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Oh yeah, one of my best friends, he invited me to go to a NASCAR race, and he normally goes to the Kentucky Speedway here in Florence, and Kentucky Speedway had already passed, so we went to Bristol in September. No, it was August. And it is an adrenaline rush, I'll tell you that. There's tons of people there. At Bristol, the seating is just like, it's like a coliseum. They call it the last coliseum. And the seating it's crazy. And it was shoulder to shoulder. You were literally packed in there like sardines, sitting there watching it. And as long as they feel on TV, like the NASCAR races, that while you're there, it's just like, it's such a rush that it feels like you're only there for an hour. It's just so much.
Have y'all either one of y'all been to NASCAR?
No, but that's something I want. I'm not a huge like when I was a little kid growing up. I loved NASCAR. I watched it every Sunday. But then, like, as I got older, I kind of fell out of it. But it's something on my bucket list to go do.
Absolutely. I actually had a chance to go to Bristol a couple years back, but because of adult and responsibilities, I couldn't go. But I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I think Bristol's a place everybody would.
But I did have a chance to have a couple friends that literally they decided on a whim they were going down to Bristol. They drove down to Bristol. It was the spring race. I remember that much.
Yeah.
Drove down to Bristol, the night before. Somehow got a hotel and tickets to go to the race.
That's hard to do. Get a hotel
right.
down there,
and not spend an arm and a leg. I
We-
don't know how they did it.
We literally had to park like a mile and a half away, and they were like, "We've got a shuttle bus, so everything's good to go." And then we got on the shuttle bus, and then they like stopped like half a mile away from the track, and they're like, "Oh, this is as far as we can go." And then we're like, "How do we get picked back up?" And they were like, "Oh, we don't do that." And we were like,
I forgot where my car was.
Oh, it was
Like,
crazy.
this year and that happened, you're like, what?
Well, see, I got I went to Modern Life the year it opened, and I looked into tickets like I always do. Don't know how I do it. Don't ask me. And I got there, and I have no idea where parking is because it's a giant underwater.
Mike's mom needs a weekend free. Here you go, honey.
I pulled into the
Coachella
hotel that was
tickets.
literally directly across from the entrance to the festival, and they had like 2 spots left. One was for a motorcycle. I actually had a friend coming down on a motorcycle. So, all right, cool, I'm gonna pay for his parking too. He's on his way down. This is what his bike looks like. I showed him a picture.
That guy stuck that money straight in his pocket.
Oh yeah.
No, actually not. My buddy didn't pay. He said that spot was taken. I got the last spot there, which was directly across, and it was literally a third of the price of the parking for there. But Loud Life was ridiculous, and it's only like 17,000 people, which is nothing what Bristol is.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely ridiculous. I remember when my buddy finally got there. I was all like 3 feet from the.
There was like.
I was 3 feet. Thanks, Dick.
Hey man, the internet doesn't lie. People are gonna be like, "Dang, Mike talked a lot."
I told you, I had good stuff happened this week. I'm in a good mood. Leave me alone.
Was
Don't rain on my
that
parade.
Bristol race? Was it? It was the night race, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that-
it was.
A lot of good memories when I was a little kid, staying up all night watching those races.
So
you
I
know.
guess you were safe
Oh, yeah.
from 115 degree weather then. At least.
No, it was still.
Yeah,
it was
I'd
still
say-
pretty
I was
bad.
about to say-
Race.
It was still
race
pretty
heat,
bad, and well,
Well,
we
got high off the fumes.
got high off the fumes. It just smells like burnt rubber and
Yeah,
gasoline.
Grizzly did.
And Mountain Dew.
Yeah,
Mountain Dew.
yeah, they were
No, he
selling,
doesn't have the best, but don't
They
you
were-
slander Mountain Dew.
they were selling moonshine and Mountain Dew mixed together. They like put that much moonshine into a thing, and then that much Mountain Dew, and was charging like $15 for
That's
it.
what
And I
I'm
was like,
talking about.
Right?
not good. But
I'll take
Still
10 of
paid for
those.
it.
Yeah.
No one is going to be like, hey, you still paid for it.
no, I actually didn't get it. I just
He had his
Straight
own.
just
Smart.
smuggled it in there. But no, it was a really good time. Me and my buddy are die-cast collectors, and we went down there really early, and that was a mistake because we had already went through everything before it was time to like we went through everything. And the race started at like 7:30, and it was like 12:30.
I'm all tuckered out.
We got there at like 7:30 in the morning.
There's no alcohol that'll
And-
help me with this.
Yeah. Oh no, and it was really hot. I was like, we're gonna get sick if we do some alcohol. So we were
We're going to wait till 4.
we were pretty tuckered out already, and then
Did you have to drive home that night?
yeah, he actually did. He let me sleep on the way home.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
I would
How
not.
long of a drive?
I'd have slapped the hell out of you. If you. I don't care if I say go ahead and fall asleep. If you fall asleep on me after that kind of a day, I'm slapping the
I would-
hell
How
out
long
of
were
you.
you in traffic?
I wouldn't
getting out
trust
of there?
anybody to drive.
Traffic wasn't that crazy. I guess where we had to walk a mile and a half to even get to the
Well,
car.
not just that, but you're at a NASCAR race. How many people are actually drunk and still in the infield?
It was pretty bad. The drunk people that were driving. Yeah. We.
That was a whole nother race.
there's a-
So more interesting than the damn NASCAR.
So much moonshine.
Yeah, there was a guy. We went to a gas. We drove like 45 minutes and stopped at a gas station, and there was a drunk guy from Bristol at same said gas station.
And let me guess, the gas prices were still astronomical because you were right outside of Bristol
Oh yeah,
during a race.
They weren't there for the gas. They were there for the Mountain Dew energy drinks.
yeah.
Sure.
Sold by yours truly.
We got
Kickstart.
the
So-
knockoff.
So now that you've done it once, is it like one of those things where, okay, I've done it once, I'm not going anymore, or are you gonna try to make it?
No, I'd like to go.
We should do a
Probably.
podcast this
Once a
year
year.
at Kentucky Speedway. We'll set
No
up-
doubt,
we'll set
though.
up
You think they'll
tent.
give us press passes?
No, we just do it in the parking lot.
Yeah, right. It
might
costs
be-
us like $150 just to park.
Yeah. So Mike's
We'll see if we can get
Might
press
be good for
passes.
it.
I
Hey.
mean, we're kind of press, kind of
I mean, yeah. I mean,
to 20 or 30
I
people
might have
a
a
week.
connection
I can,
for those.
we could build up.
Maybe. To be honest.
Just need
We
some
can,
business cards and a website, and we could get.
I'm not
press
going.
passes.
Dale Earnhardt retired.
That's
Nothing
what I'm
in-
saying.
We
Nothing
can.
in-
You should have went this year.
We can get on. Yeah, that was a good thing about it too. Is I actually got to see him driving his car in person like his last year,
right before he wrecked it.
right before he got lapped 10 times. But we can go on eBay if y'all want to, and we'll like get fake like crew suits, and we'll act like we're part of one of the crews. And
I don't know. I'm a little fat. They might not think.
oh no, they're big. They're big dudes. They're
They're
like,
come on, you're late. And then I'm like out there, and
like
they're like, you gotta change the oil. And I'm like, what?
like the gas guy. He's a big dude, so you're the gas guy. And then
Like
So
trips and
all right, so I'm the gas
qualify.
guy. I'm guessing that means you're the.
Mike's a
you're,
smoker. He can't be a gas.
Very true. So I'm guessing that means you're the jacker. He's the
You
type
easy, bro.
what'd you say?
jacker. You're on the lug nuts, and he's on the tires.
I gotta be Ricky Bobby whenever the driver gets put out, then I get to go out there. He's my best friend.
I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
Hey,
Somebody put the invisible
what was
fire
Ricky
on my
Bobby? Was he the
friend.
gas guy?
Who?
Was Ricky Bobby the gas guy or the lug nut guy? I don't remember.
Ricky Bobby?
Yeah.
He was the driver. 26.
No,
you went
but he was
in.
on the crew
Oh
first.
yeah. That's right.
I'm pretty sure he was the jacker. I've seen a jacker before, and that's what he
Do
was.
I really look like a jacker?
I mean, you know, you gotta get your.
Whoa.
You gotta get some kind of
We
body
should have got that on
motion.
camera.
He- yeah. I want the pizza dance and that on
And you know what?
camera.
I want a big lump sum of money too.
So, anywho, do you have any final thoughts? It's been fun to have you back.
Oh,
I'm sorry that Mike dominated the podcast.
I'm glad to be back, and
You
I'm
shouldn't let me talk.
really hurt that Mike took the spotlight, and you even didn't get to see him do the pizza dance. Come over here, Mike.
And that's how, man, that's ridiculous. Your hair is going to be on there forever now. Looks like you've been
It's
wearing
gonna bring you more
They're gonna
followers.
say,
It looks like you wore a beanie all day.
Unfortunately, I did not.
I wish you were wearing the Marilyn Monroe shirt when you did that. That would have been even better.
Yeah. Bring it on back over here.
So anyway, let's go ahead and get Mike out. Let's get Mike out of the way so Mike can. All right, Mike. So do you have anything else left to add?
Nothing I can say on camera.
Okay, good. That's it for you. You're done. That was your
Yeah.
last. David, do you have any valuable input?
Tomorrow it's supposed to get warm. Hopefully get some fishing in.
Are you gonna go fishing off
Yeah.
the boat?
No, I don't have my tires on the trailer yet, so it might be a little dangerous.
Just put it
But
in the
I'm
back of
taking
your
the
truck.
kayaks out though.
Put it in the back of your truck.
Yeah, my boat's too big.
Are you going smallmouth fishing or?
I'm gonna try to. I'm just gonna go kayaking first and just throw some casts out. I bought like 3 new combos this week, but I haven't. That's what I'm gonna do when I get home. Is
And don't
put
fall
one
in.
on 'em. Yeah. Oh.
Hypothermia sets in quick, son.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So did you have any other notes or anything that we didn't cover? Because I know.
Nah. Unless you all.
No, I don't think I have any right now. Mike's been dominating this like Shaq in '98, so I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
We're so like Bloody Diva carrying, you know.
Bloody Diva.
So, did you have anything else left to
No.
add? Like I said before, Mike interrupted you and then came in and hugged you weirdly. You're
And then
now
call me the jacker.
you're now part of the #MeToo movement.
Yeah. No, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
Remember
Yeah, I
you
like the new
YouTubers?
dude. I'm
Yeah.
pretty
Oh,
jealous
yeah.
because actually, I swear this is the honest God true story.
I had a beard down to here like 3 days ago when I shaved it. So.
Yeah, it gets annoying, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I swear to you, though, I wore my hair slicked back a couple years, and I literally tried to get it slicked back tonight before I came on the
Really?
podcast, and I couldn't make it work because I got a crazy cow
You
look.
need some of that pomade, bro.
I got
Yeah,
some.
I got cowlicks too. My hair's too thick.
I've got some. It has to be, my hair has to be a specific length, and it doesn't work.
My
for me.
stuff's straight froed out when I don't fix it, but yeah,
Looks
I
like
got,
Mike's.
I got Mike hair. Yeah,
Well, mine's too thick to even do anything.
It's pretty nice hair for a
My
jacket,
legs,
though.
yeah. But to be a jacker, my hair is
Yeah.
pristine. I must
Remember,
say.
The helmet is
YouTubers,
gonna mess it up,
Because
though.
you're a jacker.
What do I?
Hashtag the jacker.
Maybe it's because you're the jacker.
Yeah. I
So
think that's what it is.
maybe you being back on here, my picks will be back. So we'll have the Patriots and Vikings in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The
We-
Oklahoma City Thunder will make a magic run. The Celtics will end up on top, and
We both pretty much made the same pick, so hopefully,
Yeah.
good luck for you.
yeah, we do that a lot though. It didn't work out in the past. We just end up crying in the corner and watching UFC.
The only real difference was Ozdemir was the main difference. Well,
back before
yeah, and there's another one that we picked.
that was the Manimal
was
fight.
separated.
What time does the fight start tomorrow? Is it 8?
The pre-fight
Bellator fight.
Bellator. I don't know. That's a great question.
Yeah,
It has to be like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see
10
why they
maybe.
would be afraid to go head to head with the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Because I
They're
don't think the
on-
pay-per-view is very filled out.
And they're on cable, so.
Yeah.
I think that the numbers will be comparable, which is unheard of for a heavyweight title fight.
9
But
o'clock.
There hasn't
Nine.
been a lot of press for it. I mean, any
Which-
kind of tournament's good. The
Bellator?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's been quite a bit of press. I think that they've done it a different way because I think a lot of it's come from Chael Sonnen's
Yeah.
social media.
not everybody follows.
And they have Chael Sonnen
Yeah.
on the Fighter and the Kid podcast and stuff like that. So I think it's been a lot more social media driven.
Yeah.
As
Casual
opposed-
people that don't, they don't follow Chael Sonnen or,
Yeah, but everybody watching Cops on Spike TV or Paramount
Yeah,
TV.
that's what I was about to say. Because I saw it on
Paramount
Paramount and I was like, I don't have no freaking Paramount. Call
Yeah.
Time Warner up right now.
Yeah.
But then it was like Spike, and I was like, okay.
So are we gonna watch it together tomorrow?
I can come over.
Yeah.
Kentucky, Florida plays tomorrow at 8, so
Will there be
Watch it.
bourbon here, sir?
We can do picture in picture.
yeah. Yeah, we could.
Yeah, look. Oh, I don't know.
Perhaps.
Mike's put a hurt.
But
on
I'm
a
trying
lot of
to go to
turkeys.
I have.
Kentucky
We're
and
not done
Florida.
yet.
God, he's chasing a whole flock of turkeys out of here.
I got to go into work tonight, or I would have
Partaken.
Yeah, I would have partaken.
I appreciate the podcast support.
Uh,
David's wearing his. He's got it zipped up now because he's ashamed and he got mad at us for.
Kellen still has it. Maybe.
I'm starting my own podcast.
Mike,
It's
I'm
called
sorry, I
Triple
don't have a
X's.
triple X shirt laying around. It costs money.
I'm going solo.
I'm gonna give you a shirt. You said you can't get the thing that's.
Did you hear David? He
I said I'm
said
going solo.
he's going solo. It's going to be triple access podcast,
Dude,
and then mine's going to be
His
the
podcast
Jacker
will be so much better than mine.
Man. Mine's going to be the Jacker Man
The
podcast.
Jacker Man.
Mike's-
Hashtag Jacker Man.
Mike's loud and in charge. And he's just gonna wear his hair funky different ways every time.
The Jacker
That'll show up in all of your podcasts.
He's got the
We can argue about
I'm
dominoes.
gonna make
and having more extra sauce on his pizza.
No
What kind of
ketchup,
freak
no
does
sauce.
that?
Everybody's gonna tune in for the Mike podcast just to see what like weird skeleton old shirt he's wearing. He's got the Marilyn Monroe one on the night. He's got the Michael Jackson one in the collection. Dude, you need to get a Prince one.
I do.
The
I
pr-
really do. I would
The
rock
Prince
that.
one playing defense on the Saints quarterback. That's the
Sure, was it
Bristol,
skins
but-
versus blouses?
Unity. Oh, that was for James. Man, I ruined the whole podcast. Game.
Sign off because somebody can sing any Eagles.
blouses.
Good.
You need to cleanse yourself in the Lake Minnetonka. Anyways,
Waffles.
we appreciate you guys tuning in. Would you like to give a shout out to your social media page, sir?
You can add me or follow me on Facebook, Billy Johnson, or Instagram. I'm Billy the Kid 48 on there, or you can type Billy Johnson. I'll come up.
Yeah.
Or you type in
Hashtag Young
the
Guns.
Jacker.
Or just hashtag Jack on me.
Oh, that's gonna be when I put out for this podcast. It's gonna have to be in there.
Oh yeah, tag the video, Jacker
Hashtag
Man.
Man.
I haven't figured out how to hashtag Mike's Marilyn Monroe shirt yet.
Also, one of the tags needs to be
Hashtag
gas
Eugene.
man with a cigarette.
I'll wait long enough, guys.
Oh, you're good. You went up to the
you're
bathroom
not-
last
you're
time.
not
Last
on
time.
camera.
So, David, do you have any final thoughts, or do you want to plug your social media?
Nah.
You changed your name. You changed your tag name this week too.
No, it's still the same on Instagram.
I thought you changed it to Dave McMorguson.
No, it's just the name part. So the feds be watching, man.
The feds be
Oh,
watching
I
yeah.
can't
that
put my real name
out in the
up there.
van.
I just have to add a few extra letters to my
So
last name.
we would appreciate. I know that this has been a calamity. It's not quite as bad as podcast number 13, which that's still out there, and everybody needs to watch that one because Mike rolled that one too. But anyways, so please follow us on social media, Facebook and Instagram at Double Axis Podcast. And please go to our YouTube page and make sure you like and subscribe and even share. If there's a particular video that you enjoy, share it, and that way everybody can enjoy in all this festivities that we have tonight. So, well, I really appreciate you being on. Hopefully, we all get together tomorrow night and watch it, and hopefully, it's a happy occurrence. I figured out how to do picture in picture on my DirecTV now, so I can have the game and Bellator.
Yeah. Well, cool. If I don't get
Oh.
tickets tomorrow, definitely.
Oh, you're talking about physically going.
Maybe if I can get them under a certain price.
My
So you'll be here.
I had a friend who was trying to sell two.
Mike,
Well, if I
we're
get
trying to get
150
David on board here.
Under how much?
Under 50.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, there's 60 right now on SeatGeek. So, but last time I went to see
holding out.
Kentucky and Florida, they were $75 a piece that I paid.
This is still
Better
And
team
that was upper level.
for you.
My truck is getting fixed tomorrow, or it should be. But if not, I might have to hitch a ride. But
I'm here for you.
I appreciate that.
I'm here for you.
My brother, do you know the way?
Do you know the way?
Have you seen that meme?
Yeah, there's a really good.
Do you know the way of the
So-
devil?
The party's going to continue. We're going to go see Den of Thieves, and I'm sure that David will have a gripping review of that.
I'm gonna
after-
go to work.
Yeah,
He's going to go to work and work it out.
working
Working
for
it.
the city.
Oh, man.
Wanna be West Side.
It was
Oh no, it was a
WMU.
it was a Nate Diaz, Luke Rockhold. I don't know what to do with my hand, so I'm gonna throw something up.
Don't know what.
Again,
Because-
the Jacker.
That was actually pretty good. He worked
Hashtag a jack out of man.
He worked out really hard, but we appreciate it, guys. Go like our social media pages and share this, and enjoy all the fun. And we'll see you the next time.